AEW. You know, there's a lot of things going on with this company, a lot of things not going on, a lot has not changed. Let's go through the current issues with AEW and goings on. Now, this will be all over the place, but let's just get to it. Right now, in March of 2023, AEW is planning on starting house shows. Now, of course, for some reason, people always have to be overly creative, so now they want to change the name to House Rules or House some other shit. Just call it house shows. Whatever. Now, so they're going to start doing that, which is good. One, they don't need the money. They have a billionaire Mark funding this. But house shows is good because this roster, the biggest problem with it, besides the fact that it's the roster that it is that this roster is green. They don't know what they're doing. A lot of people in this roster have no talent because this is the era of the world where anybody could be anything. So house shows should help green wrestlers get better in the ring. The problem is green marks are working with other green marks. They don't listen to anyone older. Adam Page. I don't listen and I don't ask veterans for advice. You know, in this world today, you don't have to wonder if someone's an idiot. They'll tell you they are. So that's going on. I believe, speaking of Adam Page, they're going back to him and Moxley again. Why? Uh, Whatever. The AEW Fight Forever video game is delayed again. The game was initially supposed to come out, I believe, in the summer of 2022, and then it got pushed back to around October. Then it got pushed back to around New Year's. Then it got pushed back to February. Then there was some rumor it was coming out March 31st. Well, that's not happening. Now it's pushed back again because they're being sued for trademarks such as Fight Forever. You know, I made a video on my gaming channel, which the link is in the description, months and months and months ago of last year, 2022, saying a list of reasons why this game will be delayed. You have a bunch of marks making a game. First of all, they had to go and get THQ, and they wanted to build a whole new gaming system aside from the one THQ had used for the SmackDown vs. Raw series. So to build a whole new engine, to put the money and resources, all the things that went into making this game, the scans, the audio, everything, Tony Khan allegedly has spent around $100 million in just the building of this game, the funding it takes. That's not to mention the marketing and promotion that's going to be needed when it actually does come out. But just this game is already a disaster. Now, the actual game might be a very good game, but everything around it has been a disaster. Um, this game has gone through development hell. For one, trademark lawsuits, the roster changes, even things like, if you have CM Punk or whoever, you have to now see, can I use these people's tattoos? The Randy Orton lawsuit where his tattoos are being used in a video game, now they have to consider that. Um, Roster changes, people put in the game, out the game. With today's current wrestling or today's current gaming, it takes a lot of time and money to put people in games and out of games. It's not like back in the day where you could just make a character and digitize them. No, it's not that. It takes time and money. Um, the video game's been a disaster. They had to go through the legal terms of using certain theme songs, theme music, because AEW uses real, like country songs, rock songs, real songs. So you have to obtain a license for that. You already had a license to use it on television and whatever, but now you have to make sure that license is for a video game and future releases if they didn't do that already. And these are marks, so I doubt they did. So this game may not come out until May, the summer, or maybe even the fall. So that's one disaster. Now, over the last 6 months, a huge problem is backstage. Obviously, the CM Punk Elite altercation. They fired CM Punk's right hand man who was working backstage, Ace Steel. Um, Then you have, the FTR guys are defending him, and then Omega's taking little subliminals or whatever the case. Andrade fighting little Sammy Guevara. In this video, I'll try not to like. In this video, I'll try not to clown people. Just get to the news. I want to roast these people so bad with nicknames and jokes, but let's just stick to it. Um, even in the beginning of the company, didn't Excalibur get in a fight with Jimmy Havoc at a birthday dinner? So there's always been conflict in this company, like any other company. This is wrestling. Tony Khan and these people are carnies too. The biggest carny, Dave Meltzer, likes to pretend like this is some new era. No, wrestling is a certain beast. And wrestling attracts certain people. And to be in wrestling, you have to be a certain way. Everyone is a carny. Everyone is working. Dave Meltzer's a carny and he's working. What a mark. Um, Now, if you're paying attention to the behind the scenes, AEW's television contract is coming up soon with Turner. When AEW came in, Turner had certain people in their office. Those certain people were released, removed, fired, new people brought in. There's a report that I believe a woman is like heading the department that handles AEW as far as Turner, and she did an interview saying she didn't know anything about wrestling, but she's like impressed by the audience they draw, so I guess they worked her already. She's ignorant and she's being worked, or that could be some corporate speak for make everything seem like everything's okay, but we're getting rid of these motherfuckers. Um, what have you. Now, obviously, this company needs to be, they had to shuffle things when CM Punk was, CM Punk is still out with his injury. The Elite were out. Pretty much their roster is back. The Elite is back, and MJF, who they're misusing, but let's not get into booking. Um, this company also has been known for an excessively large roster. I don't know why. I don't even want to get into it. But the current rumors as of April of this year, are that Goldberg has just finished his WWE contract, and there's rumors of Goldberg heading to AEW. Now, one of the people behind AEW, believe it or not, whatever the case, is Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer, since the 1990s, late 90s, he's always been close friends with Bill Goldberg. It's the small hat connection. So I can see Meltzer and Goldberg speaking over some time. Maybe Meltzer's giving him information on their finances and what they do. So you could see Goldberg. You may see Goldberg in AEW. Who knows? I don't think they'd be so stupid to have him weekly, but they might use him like Sting. Maybe Goldberg is brought in and he mentors Wardlow and they do tag matches. I would Goldberg is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, but not like come on, man. Goldberg he looks horrible now. That match with Undertaker was terrible. It's over. Please, no more 50-year-old wrestlers. Sting is on a contract. He's like 64. I think his birthday just passed. Like, please, Jesus Christ. You don't see no 50-year-olds in the NBA, Major League Baseball, the National Football League, but in wrestling, stay away from my back and my knees, and we can have a match. Like, oh, God. So there's rumors Goldberg coming in. I did a video not too long ago saying Ryback is rumored to be coming in later this year. He's having some physical work done on his body. He's been, Ryback, he's like a health nut, and he's been getting a lot of, treatments done on his body for years, healing up from injuries over the years from his run in NXT and I believe OVW and WWE's main roster run. So if you were Tony Khan, oh God, whatever. I think bringing in Ryback, well, like I said, if you bring in Goldberg, it needs to be like a Sting way, where he's an attraction. Maybe he mentors, like I said, Wardlow or Powerhouse Hobbs or something. But it cannot be Goldberg is on there every week wrestling, or even like every month. Like it needs to be an appearance every few months, maybe one big match, and that match got to be like 30 seconds where he kills somebody. Maybe they do bring in Goldberg and do Ryback finally, whatever the case. But these AW marks, if Goldberg showed up as a surprise, these marks would cream their pants. But in about 2 weeks, they would hate him because these are marks, not wrestling fans. They're marks. But I'd much rather, if I was running this company, a lot of things would be different. You know, I bring in Ryback and maybe Goldberg as a special appearance, but who knows? Also, there's a rumor Nia Jax would like to be in AEW. Once again, the Marks hate her. You know, the Marks have their little group of people they don't like, but Marks don't matter. Nia Jax, they are doing the whole like WWE women versus AEW women thing, so bring her in as part of the heels to get them heat. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Nia Jax, she, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, MJF, they play into his storyline that his contract is coming up. And, you know, word got out that Omega and the Young Bucks and MJF contracts are all coming up within the next 8 months or so. 8 months to a year, their contracts, 8 months to 10 months, their contracts are all coming up. So, what is Tony Khan going to do with them? Because the MJF thing, I think that's all like a work or whatever. But the Elite, I could see them leaving. You know, Tony Khan did have conflict with them backstage. He took away their status as VPs, which they should have never been. But that was probably just, you know, as a part of the marketing and promotion at the beginning. But this company keeps moving along. I don't know what direction they think they're moving on. Tony Khan, he also announced that they want to do Forbidden Door 2. Great. Well, let's do another pay-per-view where we play into a small audience that's even smaller than our audience that does not care. Let's do Forbidden Door 2. Great. More Japanese wrestlers you don't care about, can't pronounce. All the Japanese wrestlers, they could be good talents, bad talents. If you don't build them up, it does not matter. Everyone is not a mark who is obsessed with wrestling on the internet. But they book for the internet and no one else. And speaking of mark booking, there's rumors that AEW is going to have, oh my lord, something of, now, I don't know if they have this already. I don't pay that close attention, but there's rumors they're going to have women's tag titles and a 6-women's tag titles. It's like, great. All you need is more belts. The AEW world title is not over. That world title is not an over belt. So let's add even more belts that aren't over. This is the booking of the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. But this is the time you're living in. Also, the Big Show. Apparently, the Big Show is he's going around doing media and he's backstage. And the Big Show, he wants to wrestle in the ring again. Great, more 50-year-old wrestlers. Yeah, let's do the Giant versus Goldberg again in 2023 in AEW. Yeah, just like '98. We're on TBS and TNT. We're on Turner. Let's redo WCW. Just they're old as hell now. So the Big Show wants to get back in the ring. You know, they brought him in for some reason to be an announcer. Why would Big Show be an announcer? Of all the announcers, it's like this company has never made sense. You know, at the beginning they brought in Jim Ross. Okay, good. Excalibur, who is this? You know, the eventually Don Callis, but he's not really an announcer, but he sometimes announces, and they have to have 4 people on the team, whatever. They bring in Taz, they bring in Tony Schiavone. It's like, okay, Jesus Christ, how many announcers do you need? Then I believe, didn't they sign Christian to be an announcer? But now he's like a wrestler, but he never wrestles. And then Mark Henry was brought in as an announcer. Why would Mark Henry be an announcer? Then Jericho is put on announcing, and he's screaming every Friday night. And in typical wrestling fashion, when your audience tells you, stop screaming, Jericho keeps screaming. Because in today's wrestling, when you criticize these people in wrestling today, their response is always, you're wrong, you don't get it. Wrestling is the only place where the audience tells you what they like immediately, but you tell them the audience is wrong. This is the only place that does that. In this way. The audience says, we don't like this. So wrestling says, you're wrong, we're going to keep doing it. That's wrestling. But that is it. Like, share, comment, subscribe.